What's up everyone, and welcome back to the fourth part of this consulting interview series. Throughout the past couple of weeks, I've shared what it takes to do well on the consulting fit interview, the case interview, and how to do well in your group interviews. If you haven't already seen these, then I'll be linking parts 1 through 3 in my bio below for you to check out after this video. Today, I'll be talking about the consulting presentation interviews and what you'll need to know in order to get that offer. These interviews are fairly tricky and becoming more and more common, so you don't want to miss what I'll be sharing in this video today. Before getting into it, I'd highly appreciate it if you guys liked, commented, and subscribed if you're interested in improving your chances of doing well as a management consultant. I upload videos twice a week on this channel where I share educational and consulting related advice as you embark on your professional journey. So getting right into it, for presentation interviews, they can either be done one-on-one or in a group setting. As I mentioned last week, group interviews are beneficial for the company and interviewer because it's the closest thing you can get to the real deal. You're working alongside other consultants and having a sample case and sharing your conclusions. The interviewers are taking notes on how you work in a team environment, as well as how you respond to the more challenging questions that come up when working with others, but also related specifically to that case at hand. You always want to put your best foot forward by exceeding their expectations and being a team player, but you also want to be able to stand out amongst the others you're interviewing with. If you'd like to learn more about group interviews, then I'll link the part 3 video of this consulting interview series in my bio below. For the group presentation interviews, you need to remember that you're being watched usually by the recruiters and working for a short period of time. So it's always best to avoid unnecessary conflicts that would prevent the presentation development to go forward and find a way just to compromise with the others. When working in a group, you want to have an input as opposed to just agreeing with others and going with what everyone else is just saying. What I like doing for any case interview, whether it's a presentation with others or just a traditional case interview, is to take a couple of seconds or a minute even to draft my thoughts and what I want to build off of. By having some notes, I'll be able to then talk through what else I want to say or do and just go from there. This helps in group presentations because you can each build off of each other's idea and to some degree even divide and conquer. Each of you can be responsible for taking a certain slide and presenting it, all while relaying your thoughts to make sure the presentation is well-rounded and addresses the required criteria. Remember to always take a minute or two before a group presentation to gather your thoughts, and then spend a minute or two to run through the presentation and make sure everyone else is on the same page about the content and how you'll be presenting it. Normally, the entire group case interview presentations are no longer than an hour and will have between 2 to 4 interviewees. Like I mentioned in my group interview video, you always want to help each other rather than belittle or sabotage one another to do well and get that offer. Now, transitioning to the one-person presentation interview, there's a bit more pressure because, well, the spotlight is on you. You'll be responsible for the mistakes or correct work you'll be presenting. For one-person interviews, I like to start by asking my questions to the interviewers before getting started. See if they have any more information that they can share to help out during the interview. From there, I would go about it similarly to how you develop a traditional case, write your ideas down first, and then transition to developing your slides for what you'll be presenting, if it's not a slide deck. Take your time and be prepared for your presentation. Gather your thoughts and don't be nervous about what you're going to be presenting. They know it's impromptu and that you didn't have weeks or months to prepare it. You're obviously given limited data and information as well, and their expectation is to see if you have what it takes to take on a consulting presentation. As a consultant, you're likely going to be presenting at some point in your career. For boutique firms and some of the big four, you're likely to present in your earlier years at the firm rather than when you're a senior because you're the one directly working with the clients on a daily basis, so why shouldn't you be the one presenting to them as well? Obviously, every company has their own policy when it comes to this, but it makes sense as to why there are presentations in certain interviews. So, as a recap, how you go about the group presentation interview is similar yet different in some ways to a traditional case. You need to remember for group case presentations that everyone's idea will be presented in some shape or form, and that disagreements need to be kept at a minimum. Arguments can take away from the time you have to present, which is necessary in these short periods, so avoid any conflict between your colleagues. For one-on-one interviews, you want to consider them as a traditional case interview. Take some time at first to draft your thoughts, ask questions throughout, then get into the presentation segment of the interview. Regardless of the type of presentation you're in, remember that there's nothing to worry about. They know you have limited information and that you aren't an expert in that field and just want to see how you think and work in these types of settings. With that being said, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you found this video helpful. I upload videos twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays, and just finished another interview series going on, so be sure to check that out as well for different and incredibly helpful advice, hopefully. If you'd like to prepare for your case interviews, then I'd highly recommend you visit my website, ryanrothy.com, and use the promo codes in my bio below to schedule a one-on-one appointment. As always, thanks. Until next time.